Hi all, welcome to the extra marquee matchups for the 17th of March. Plenty of routes to cover as expected, just due to the nature of games across the world, and I thought I'd have the main video covering quite a few of my shouts, and obviously extra routes covering quite a few other shouts that will potentially appear as well. So if you can smash the links below, sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, G's a Legend, all links down below for playlists in the channel, and social media links as always. So remember to check the main predictions in this video too. Millonarios versus Santa Fe. This route for me could happen because the Medellin game is also another major game in Colombia. Now this route I didn't initially want to put in because in the main video I thought they will never do Medellin when it came to the Continental, but they've done it for this, so I'm going to assume Millonarios Santa Fe could happen because it's the second biggest game in Colombia. You'd need one from both teams, 11 from the Liga de Mayor, at least 4 to 6 Colombian players, and at least 3 nations. Vicanis is a good shout to cover as well, but it's a 4 out of 10. I feel they're going to look at other options and not have 2 Colombian options in a week. Now with PSG versus Lyon, this route could happen. We've just had Lyon of course a couple of weeks ago with the Lyon versus Roma for the Continentals marquee matchups, but PSG versus Lyon, a major game in France, and if it was to happen, 1 from both teams, 11 from the league, 6 nations, 5 but from there it's going to be quite an expensive route, so keep that in mind if it was to happen. Didn't mean to have that little muck up there, but 5 out of 10 if it was to happen. Might even push to a 6. I hope this doesn't happen because I'm kind of hoping we get other options across like France and Europe as it were, but this is still a strong shout for this week. Then Man City Liverpool, I can't see us having this option, mainly because they will try and look at other English routes. But Man City Liverpool, 1 from both teams, 11 from the league, 6 clubs, 5 nations. 79 overall, might even push to an 80, but I'd imagine 79 will probably be just enough. 6 to 8k roughly for cost. It's not too cheap but not too expensive. 5 to 7k, 5 out of 10 for likelihood. I think they'll try not do this mainly because of Play of the Month, SBC is still about, and while they want to try and keep the prices expensive for it, they are still quite expensive, and they will look at other routes, especially if they can keep off EPL routes in context. Nottingham Forest versus Derby County is an option they may consider as an alternative. As with the MK Dons game, this is another big game in England, and personally we didn't have this before, I believe, when both teams faced. I might be wrong, I'll have to go digging when the routes all come live. But 11 from Championship, 1 from both teams, 6 clubs, 5 English players, because that can be your preference. A way that I have looked that this could work if it was say 70 overall is 4 gold in the form of McCormack, Dunk, Shackle and McGregor, and you can get away with bronzes and silvers, and it works. You could probably get away with a couple more bronzes to high rated silvers. Gamba Osaka versus Urawa Reds. I really don't think this route may happen, but it's one of the big like national derbies in Japan. 11 from the league, 1 from both teams, 6 clubs, maybe even go 11 just to kind of spike up the J-League prices even more. You might be asked 11 J-League Japanese players, but I would assume they'll either do say 6 or 7, or it'll be looking at nations, because there's not too many other nations you can go. You could go like a couple Brazilians, a couple Swedes. But as this is a national derby, or one of the bigger national derbies in Japan, this route could crop up, and it's a 4 out of 10 still. And the last route is UNAM versus America. This route for me, another big game in Mexico. While we've just had a Mexican route crop up in the form of Pachuca for the Continentals, I would say this route still has a very strong shout in happening. You'd need 1 from both teams, 11 from the league, maybe even they mix it up a little bit where you kind of need to look within the nations, so you can have like maybe the Argentines could be a focus, or the Colombians, so you're ending up building kind of a hybrid, and it's hopefully not a rating specific, because otherwise this route could easily be expensive. Yes, I've built a 75 rated squad, but that's probably because I could probably build the 75 rated squad cheaper than a 70 rated squad, but time will tell of course when it crops up. But still an expensive-ish route if this was to happen. But for me, still a lot of good shouts this week for the marquee matchups. As always, remember to smash like,